What's up, y'all? Yeah, it's your boy right here, man. You already know. Wesley Kobi, support feminine record for life, huh? Jenny on the beat, boy. I came from Africa. Yep, I came from Africa. Yep, I came from Africa. I never knew the system, though. Nope, I came from Africa. Yep, I came from Africa. Yep, I came from Africa. I never knew the system, though. Nope, I have to hustle. I have to grind. Yep, I have to double up to get mine. Yep, I have to hustle. I have to grind. Yep, I have to double up to get mine. Yep.
Wesley Kobi fled Liberia for America. He arrived wearing hope like a costume, wide-eyed, ambitious, convinced this country would finally see what everyone else was missing. He rechristened himself Wesley Kobi, dropped a few tracks on YouTube, and soaked up modest praise from listeners back home in Africa. But America wasn't impressed. By 2021, the streams were thin, the buzz non-existent, and the dream of rap stardom sat exactly where it started, stalled. He was still in Michigan, still waiting on validation, still mistaking potential for progress. Then came Shaniya Thompson, a mother of 3, newly untethered from the father of her older children, emotionally open and ready to believe again. What started as a few dates turned into obsession-level bonding. Suddenly, they were inseparable. Suddenly, there was talk of forever. Suddenly, there were 2 more babies added to the picture. Shenia didn't see a man drowning in failure. She saw a partner, a husband in waiting, a future she could finally exhale into. And Wesley played the role well, long enough at least. But underneath the love was something darker and far more familiar. Control masquerading as devotion, rage dressed up as stress, abuse reframed as something that just needed patience, understanding, work. Shenia believed love meant staying, fixing, enduring. Wesley believed love meant possession. And when the mask slipped, it revealed a man who had always handled discomfort the same way, by running. He ran from his country. He ran from responsibility. And when his violence reached its final, irreversible act, he ran once more, leaving Shenia dead and her children without their mother. Love didn't blind her by accident. It was weaponized against her. Because for men like Kobi, love isn't something you give. It's something you use until escape feels easier than accountability. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads.
You want to put it little?
No.
I can?
Just
Okay. All right. Oh, wow. Ooh. Thank you. I appreciate
go on this side.
Hmm? The fuck? You bullshitting, right?
I swear.
What? Shit. I ain't slipping to that. Wow.
That's a new one.
By 2025, Wesley and Shenia were raising their children in Minneapolis, Minnesota, presenting the kind of picture-perfect chaos people like to mistake for stability. Online, they look committed, 2 adults blending families, welcoming 2 children together, and pretending love was enough to patch over everything else. Wesley had steady employment as a Brinks armored security guard, a job he didn't just work but perform, posting photos and videos in uniform like proof of manhood, protection, and purpose. Shenia worked for the Minnesota Department of Revenue, paid her bills, and built a growing social media presence as a digital creator, showcasing wigs, trends, and hustle, quietly promoting business while raising 5 children in total. A quick scroll through Thompson's TikTok told a soft, romantic lie. Smiling videos, couple moments, celebrations, 2 babies together, the youngest a boy.
Willow.
You gonna call it a kick or
Willow. Willow. This is betrayal.
It looked like love that survived struggle. It looked like forever. But social media is where people curate survival, not tell the truth. What the posts didn't show was how one-sided the affection really was. Shania posted Wesley. Wesley never posted Shania. Not her. Not the kids. His pages were reserved for himself, his music, his daily grind, his pride in Liberia, his extended family. Thompson and the children existed in his real life, but not in his public one, as if erasing them online somehow made control easier offline. And control had already been there. According to investigators, Wesley had a documented pattern of pulling out a gun and pointing it at Thompson during arguments. Not once. Not accidentally. Not in the heat of the moment. A pattern. A warning. A billboard-sized red flag waving in plain sight. But Shania stayed. Loved harder. Believed more. Told herself this was something that could be worked through. Because when you're deep in it, abuse doesn't always look like danger. It looks like something you're supposed to fix. December 11, 2025 should have been joyful. It was Thompson's oldest daughter's birthday. Cake. Family. Another year survived. Instead, it became the prelude to a homicide. Wesley had already left the apartment earlier due to a fallout between the two. Then he came back bearing gifts. A classic move. The universal language of "don't be mad at me yet." Shenia took it as a peace offering. A reset. A sign they could move forward. The door closed, and so did the illusion. Almost immediately, they began arguing again. The back and forth grew so heated that the children had to be sent to their rooms to wait until it was time to cut the cake. From behind closed doors, the kids heard raised voices. Then a loud noise. Then silence. The kind of silence that doesn't feel right. The kind that makes your stomach drop before your brain catches up. Not long after, Wesley appeared and told the children to grab their belongings. They were going to see his family in Grand Rapids, Michigan. No explanation. No mention of their mother. Just orders. It was an 8-hour drive that felt endless. During that drive, Thompson's oldest daughter, terrified, suspicious, already understanding too much, called family members begging them to check on her mom. "Please," she said. "I think she's hurt." Authorities later pieced together what happened next. At approximately 4:15 p.m. on December 12, 2025, St. Paul police officers were dispatched to an apartment building at 540 Broadway Street after a welfare check was requested by a family member who had been contacted by Thompson's daughter. The caller reported concern that Shania had been shot. Officers entered Thompson's apartment and found Shania deceased. She had suffered a gunshot wound to the head. There was blood pooled near her head. A shower curtain was hanging nearby. A handgun was recovered at the scene. Meanwhile, Wesley was busy managing his exit. Investigators learned that after the shooting, he contacted his mother and brought the children to her home in Grand Rapids. He stayed there for about an hour, left the children behind, and drove off in his brother's red Kia because nothing says innocent accident like switching vehicles and disappearing. When questioned, Wesley didn't deny pulling the trigger. He told family members the gun went off by accident. An accident he didn't call 911 about. An accident he didn't stay for. An accident he didn't report. An accident he responded to by loading children into a car and fleeing state lines. By the time law enforcement caught up to the paper trail, Wesley had already crossed international borders. On December 12, 2025, he crossed into Canada. From there, he booked a flight to Mexico. Eventually, authorities confirmed he was located on foot at the Sarnia Blue Water Bridge at 10:57 a.m., triggering federal involvement. The man who once fled a country for opportunity was now fleeing another for consequences. Running had always been his solution. The state of Minnesota didn't buy the accident story. Prosecutors charged Wesley with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Count 1, murder in the second degree with intent, not premeditated. Count 2, murder in the second degree while committing a felony, second-degree assault. Each charge carries a potential sentence of up to 40 years.
After allegedly killing the mother of his 5 children and fleeing to Canada, St. Paul resident Wesley Kobi has been arrested.
We were able to take the suspect into custody, in Toronto with the assistance of our federal partners.
St. Paul police says 29-year-old Shaniya Thompson was shot and killed inside her apartment by Kobi on December 11th after Kobi came over to celebrate one of their kids' birthdays. Inside, he told the kids to go to their bedroom, and moments later, the kids heard a scream and a thud. Charging documents then say Kobi told the kids they were leaving and he drove them 8 hours to his mother's house in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Shania, she was a light in this world. She was a ball of positive energy.
Shania's sister Shenia says their family is overwhelmed with grief as they deal with the loss and do their best to support Shania's children.
This is going to be a very long process for us just to get through this together.
After an hour in Grand Rapids, court documents say Kobi left the kids with his mom and drove off in his brother's car without saying where he was going or answering the phone. According to court documents, investigators learned that Kobi had crossed the Canadian border on foot and had booked a flight from Canada to Mexico, but was arrested at the airport Tuesday morning.
It's a tragedy. Now the family has to deal with that, especially her children.
Kobi will now be extradited to Minnesota, where he is facing second-degree murder charges. But Shenia says no amount of justice will make up for what her family lost.
She was just the most amazing person. I mean, honestly, she really was. Like, if I needed anything, I knew I could always count on her.
Shania didn't die because love failed. She died because control escalated. Warnings were ignored, and a man who had spent his life running decided that fleeing accountability was easier than facing what he'd done. And while Wesley crossed borders trying to disappear, Thompson's children were left behind, forced to live with a truth far heavier than any suitcase he packed. Following the shooting, grief didn't stay quiet. It flooded social media, raw, unfiltered, and heavy with the kind of shock that only comes when violence collides with familiarity.
It is with such heavy heart and pain that I come on here to tell y'all that my sister, Shaniya Thompson, was shot and killed on December 11th of 2025. And she was shot by her children's father and leaves 5 kids behind. Her child's father came over to celebrate my niece's birthday. And we don't have any evidence right now of how an argument ensued, but our family's speculation was that an argument ensued because he found out that she was trying to move back to Michigan and she was trying to leave him and be happy. And he couldn't deal with that fact, so he shot her in her head, y'all. He shot her in her head, and her 5 kids that she's leaving behind, they were there. They were there, and they heard everything and saw everything. Her killer's name is Wesley Kobi. Wesley Kobi is his name. I'm going to put a few pictures in this video as I talk as well. The first thing pictured is actually going to be the article released about what he did to her. This is one screenshot from the article. Y'all can pause and read. And this is the rest of that article. And just to clarify, my sister was 29 years old and she resided in St. Paul, Minnesota, and that's where this crime took place. This is my sister. And she was such a devoted mother, a devoted friend, a devoted sister, a devoted daughter. She meant so much to me and my family. And we are so devastated that she's gone and that he took her from us. He took my sister and then he fled to Michigan with all 5 of their kids. And he dropped them off at his mother's house, in which he spent an hour at her house. And it's believed that his mom and his brother helped him escape because he swapped out cars. He left his car at his mother's house and he took his brother's car and he fled. All the while telling her kids that their mom would be okay and that she was going to live, knowing that that was a lie. And mind you, her kids are between the ages of 12 and 1. And I'm going to put a picture up so y'all can see my babies. These were all 5 of her beautiful kids. From left to right, we got Selena, Winter, Willow, Junior, and Skylar. And my babies don't even know that their mom is gone. This man right here is her killer and is responsible for taking my sister away from us. All because of jealousy and just hatred for my sister. In more recent developments, we found out that he left in his brother's vehicle and then tried to flee on foot to Canada and book a flight to Mexico. As of yesterday, he remained at large and they were still trying to find him. But I am so happy to announce today, Shania, we caught him. They have your killer in custody. They haven't released an official statement yet regarding his capture, but we were given a call and we were told that he was found in Michigan today. And we just cannot wait to get you justice. And we love you and we miss you so much.
Among the voices was a woman who goes by Fatima, someone who had been in recent contact with Shenia and was still trying to process how quickly everything ended. She wrote about their last interactions. She was my customer, one of my loyal ones. She got shot in the head by her baby daddy the other day, and that shit been messing with me. I really build bonds with the people that shop with me. Her last messages to me was, I'm trying to get some Nike techs for my man. I'm tricking on him, and he killed her on their daughter's birthday. That shit got me bothered for real. Read that again. A woman budgeting love, shopping for her man, trying to please someone who had already shown her exactly who he was, tricking on a future that was quietly plotting her funeral. Then came confirmation from someone who lived in the building, another voice, another brick in the reality nobody wants to accept. Yeah, this happened in my building. It's so sad. They said she was there a whole day before they found her. She a real mom, this shit's so wrong. He did it the night before. They didn't find her till like 4 p.m. and he took her kids to his mom's house out of state. It's heartbreaking. So let's be clear. Shenia was killed, left there, and silently erased for nearly an entire day, while the man who shot her gathered her children and fled. And still, even knowing what we know now, people will ask why she stayed, as if love doesn't distort logic, as if abuse doesn't slowly retrain your survival instincts, as if pointing a gun at someone isn't already a rehearsal. Despite the volatility, despite the danger, despite the pattern, Shenia still poured love into a man who had made it painfully clear where this was headed. And when the inevitable happened, it wasn't just her life that was taken, it was her mother's heart. Her mother took to social media and spoke in the kind of grief that doesn't perform, doesn't posture, doesn't heal. She wrote, December 11th took my baby from me. My daughter, Shenia, is gone, and my heart is broken in a way that words will never be able to explain. There's a pain so deep inside me that I can barely breathe through it. Losing a child is not something a mother is ever prepared for, but losing 2 children is unbearable. It goes against everything life is supposed to be. Shenia wasn't just my daughter, she was my best friend. We talked every single day, sometimes 5 or 6 times a day, about everything, about nothing, about life, her kids, her dreams. Now the silence where her voice should be is deafening, and it breaks me over and over again. I mourn not only for myself, but for her 5 beautiful children, 5 innocent souls who now have to grow up in a world without their mother's voice, her hugs, her laughter, her love. Shenia was more than a daughter. She was a mother, a protector, a light. She loved her babies fiercely. They were her whole world. Please keep her children close in your prayers. Please speak her name. Please remember her. She will always be my baby. Always. A few days after the shooting, the family released balloons into the sky because sometimes grief needs air, and silence is too heavy to carry alone.
May she rest in your presence, knowing she was loved deeply, and that her name would not be forgotten. Lord, we lift up her 5 children. Cover them with protection, comfort their hearts, and place people around them who will love them fiercely. Care for them gently and guide them safely through this loss. Heal the trauma they did not deserve to carry. Strengthen Shania's mother and family. Give them endurance for the days ahead. Support when the nights feel heavy, and hope when grief feels overwhelming. God, we ask that this tragedy awaken our community. Break the silence around domestic violence. Give courage to those who feel trapped. Wisdom to those who can't. Wisdom to those who can help. And justice where there has been harm. Teach us to show up, not just today, but weeks, months, and years to come. Let love be louder than violence. Let protection be stronger than fear. We place my name, her children, and our community in your hands.
Amen. All right. We love you so much, Shania. We all here for you. Yes. All right, y'all. Come on. We're going to let these go for my girl. Woo! We love you, Shania. Woo!
Thompson was a devoted mother of 5 who was just beginning to love the woman she was becoming. 5 kids before 30 didn't stop her, it fueled her. It made her grind harder, save more, and dream bigger. She had just secured her job at the Minnesota Department of Revenue and was planning new streams of income. She was building. She was becoming. But most of all, she was mothering. Her youngest, just about 1-year-old, will grow up with only fragments of her voice, pieces of her smile, stories told by siblings who remember her fully. He will cry for her without understanding why she never comes back. The older children will remember a woman who gave everything she had to loving them, protecting them, and believing love could survive anything. It couldn't survive a man who mistook control for devotion. May Shaniya Thompson rest in peace.